Winning the Serie A title for the first time in 33 years, you go from that, mad scenes like this in Naples.
The Napoli manager, Luciano Spalletti, will be leaving.
Yeah, that wasn't ideal, was it? They win the title and Spalletti leaves, which means currently their title defence is a miserable 8th position. So today let's fix them. We're going to start a new career and we're going to use the updated database with real fixtures and results, meaning we start where they are, halfway down the table, and taking over their season, which has been up and down at best. I mean, let's be real here. The squad is still fantastic. The players they've got is elite, and this is updated, remember. So you've got players on loan like Dendoncker from Villa. But remember, Osimhen, Kvaratskhelia. So there's no excuse for this season that we shouldn't get into Europe. Slight glimmer of 4th place. Bologna have got 54, we've got 45. Now, using the research from Coach's Voice, an excellent website for all things tactical, we can have a little deep dive into Spalletti's tactics here and build it for ourselves. First up, consolidating key positions. It does say that you're going to have to rotate because of the extreme pressing, which we'll get to, but the midfield three and the wing backs and centre backs, you kind of want them set. That means for us, Zambo-Anguissa, Zielinski, Lobotka are going to be central midfielders. Rui Di Lorenzo will be the wing backs, and the two centre backs for this season will be Lamani and Natan. Bear in mind though, Zielinski's a bit of a villain here because he is leaving on a free transfer. I think he joins Inter, doesn't he? But for now, we'll use him and abuse him till the end of the season because the alternatives aren't really up to it. Back to the tactics. Now, Spalletti's Napoli are intense and aggressive both with and without the ball, so they want to keep their opponents as far away from the goal as possible, pressing high. So we're going to be intense by pressing all the time, and to get them away from our goal, we'll press high and we'll have a high line and stepping up more. Speed in attack, Kvaratskhelia and Osimhen obviously going to be two key players for us. We need to get the best out of Kvaratskhelia though. He starts wide before cutting in, making loads of goal scoring opportunities. That means for us, them two are going to be an inside forward with a deep line forward so they can both link up. Now Cavadona's going to have some key player instructions. I'm asking him to roam from position because I want him to do what he wants. He's going to be the focal point of the attack. Shooting more often because he's got bags of ability there. I have asked him to hold up the ball, meaning he can pick out players rather than just dribbling all the time. Best of both worlds. He's going to dribble more anyway, hard-coded. Holding up the ball means he can look for the assist. So thanks to that research and that great article, we come up with this tactic, the 4-3-3 Diego Stinadonna, which is going to be our version of Spalletti's tactic to get Napoli back to where they belong. And as always, this tactic will be available in my Patreon. In fact, they've already got it. So we're going to see how Season 1 goes. For now, this is the bad guy. He's off, but I'm going to use him. I'm going to use and abuse him for now, but after that, we need to get a replacement for him. So let's see how we go. The goal is to get Napoli back to being champions of Serie A as fast as possible. And to be honest, I don't think it'll take that long. We only need to replace players like Zielinski, who is a little shit. Okay, so the first game was Atalanta. We started okay. We got 2-1. It was okay without being super impressive. But you could see as the games went on, they were enjoying being back to the 4-3-3. And King Victor, all over it. In fact, we only lost one of our matches away to Udinese. The rest we won, including an extra time win in the Italian Cup against AC Milan. So that was a nice little bonus, and the other big news was we got ourselves to 5th, and with 1 game to go, we had a chance of getting into the Champions League. A home game against Lecce and Bologna were 1 point ahead of us in 4th, and they were away to Genoa. We did our job. Thiago Motta's men bottled it, meaning we qualified for the Champions League against all the odds. I'm sure they would take that in real life. So not bad for Season 1, right? We haven't had many games in charge, but we've won the Italian Cup and we've got them into the Champions League. Before it all went tits up, they were down in 7th or 8th, so I think they'll be happy. But next season, a little bit of surgery needed. So tactically, I'm happy. We're going to go into that next season. Full disclosure, this is the tactic I shared on Patreon at first. The tweaks were I had Kvaratskhelia as a winger and Guisa as a central midfielder attack. Osimhen as a bit of a poacher. Now that is decent in itself, but I just think when we change to this, we're a little bit better. So we've got 2 to work from really, but this is going to be the main one. In midfield, I tried Traore to replace the demon that is Zielinski, but to be honest, he's not good enough, so we're not going to take up that loan, so we'll take him out. Elsewhere on the pitch, I'm pretty happy. I'm going to replace the left wing back though. I think we need a little bit more quality there, but Di Lorenzo down the right, superb. Other than that, not many changes needed. Season 2, and this is where things really started to heat up. We lost Politano to Saudi, but 25 million was too good to turn down for a 31-year-old. Same gig for Rui, 5 million to Saudi. To replace him, I bought in Chao Henrique from Monaco for 25 million. That crossing is going to be very, very handy. Now remember Zielinski? We had to replace him, didn't we? And we did. We pushed the boat out for Kevin Thuram, 40 million from Nice. All that means the team's looking a bit like this now. I'm going to use Raspadori for now as the inside forward, but I think we might need somebody else. But other than that, really happy with that. So we started the season with a right bang as well. This is Torino and it was 5-0. Match starts super dominant. Now you might say, why have you got two Mazzalas on attack? Why not have someone going through the middle? Well, this is the positional play thing in FM24. Because we've got two wing backs on attack, right, and they spend most of the time down there, and you've already got inside forwards out there who come inside a little bit, you'll find your Mazzalas don't go as wide because there's so many players out there already. So they kind of act like central midfields on attack, but also doing the Mazzala thing as well. And it looks lovely in match. Let's take this for example here and I'll show you what I mean. So remember the high press? We're going to press high because we don't want them to have the ball. There we go. Cavadonna wins it. Now, Anguissa gets it. He's one of the Mazzalas on attack. The other one is Thuram. Now look how central he is. There he is. Look where he's picking the ball up. He's not picking it up out wide. He's nice and central because he's got Raspadori there and Di Lorenzo on the way as well. So he can stay in field. Same gig with Anguissa there. Look at him. Right next to Osimhen. So sometimes you can use different roles when you've got other players occupying space. Here as well, let me pause it there. So Romani's got the ball. He finds Di Lorenzo. Raspadori's there. Now look inside. You've got Anguissa, Osimhen and Thuram. All nice and central. We've got a lovely 5 across the front there. Works really well. Because it's so high pressing, we're going to need cover to rotate. So I brought in Bernabei from Parma to help out in the central midfield positions. And I did get extra backup for that right hand side, bringing in Orsolini from Bologna for the 25 million that we got for Politano. So the squad was looking well. It is small though, but I do like to operate with a tight squad. I like a tight squad, but I will say this. If you are using a tactic which has out of possession stuff such as much higher defensive line, massive pressing, counter pressing, you might need a bigger squad to get the rotation in, because if you look at our condition, it does take it out of them. At the halfway point of the season, it was mission half accomplished because we sat top of the league and we are smashing goals in. Victor's top of the goals and the average rating, and Chao Enrique, our new left back, is top of the assists. It was at this point I knew the tactic had legs. We went away to Man City, normally a place where everyone gets battered, but we were superb. It's probably the best performance I've had against City, and we beat them. City rallied a little bit, but look at that domination away at a team like City. So everything was looking rosy, top of the league, going on in the Champions League and still in all the cups. But then something happened that could potentially derail our season. I hate PSG. They came in, triggered Victor's release clause and took him for 103 million. Not only that, but right wing back Di Lorenzo, he went to Saudi for 65 million. We couldn't really turn that down for a 31-year-old. So with all that money burning a hole in our pockets, this is what we did with it. We replaced Di Lorenzo with Bellanova, in from Torino for 16 million. Extra cover for midfield from Edison from Atalanta, 30 million. With our attacking formation, we were conceding a bit too many, so I brought in Maxence Lacroix from Wolfsburg for 25 million. And of course, we needed to replace Osimhen and fast with someone who knew Serie A, so I spent 13 million on Romelu Lukaku from Chelsea. Lukaku started fantastically and gave us a man of the match performance away to Barcelona. In fact, if you look at his overall record, he scored 18 times in 22 matches and 10 in 9 in Serie A. So for season 2, that was pretty much the team. That's the way it looked. In March, a word on Kvaratskhelia, 22 goals already, 10 assists from his 36 matches. Overall, season 2 was spectacular. Goals going in everywhere. Ironically, we drew PSG in the Champions League. I can't really describe this match, just watch. I'm going to have to speed it up.
Era il marcatore di Cannavaro. Palla tagliata, messa fuori, c'è Pirlo, ancora Pirlo di tempo,
Just your standard Champions League quarter-final game, we lost 6-5 away to PSG. They did end up knocking us out, but in the league, we had one game to go with one clear of AC Milan. If we beat Genoa, we get that Serie A title back. Star man for the season, Cavadonna, didn't let us down. fittingly scoring the last goal of our season. A thumping win gave us the title. Napoli back on top of Serie A. Cracking little season, scoring 101 times. We did lose 6 games, but if you consider that in January we lost Osimhen and Di Lorenzo, I think this team did well to keep the wheels on the track. So job done for Napoli, back on top of Italian football, and look at the chemistry of the team. They really got used to it and enjoyed that tactic. That tactic is in Patreon. You can tweak things if you like. Do have a bigger squad though, because we had a period of games near the back end of the season there, so like April time, where we were looking a bit tired around that PSG game and we lost a couple of games. Started to shake a bit, but we got it back, but still, cracking tactic, really aggressive for a top team. I'm also super happy we got the best out of Cavadonna there. 30 goals for the season, 14 assists. His best season ever. He's sometimes a hard player to get working right in this game, but wow, we nailed him with the inside forward role.